just kind of evaluating, offense kind of struggled there. Just uh, after looking at that tape, what can y'all kind of pinpoint or see? What were the issues throughout that game in Tuscaloosa?
Yeah, I think we didn't have a perfect game at all. We had a lot of flaws on offense, and we really just kind of came in and watched the film yesterday and realized that we had a lot of work to do. I think we still have to find our identity a little bit on offense and get the run game going a little bit and get the pass game going. And I think we just feed off one another. So we came back in yesterday and we kind of put that behind us a little bit. And this week we're gonna come out there with the mentality of just dominate. I think that's what we really gotta focus on.
You mentioned that they're finding the identity. What is the identity that you're trying to find?
I think we got to find that spark. You look back at last year, and some of the things that we were able to do on offense, and I think that we just got to get back to that. I think we got to get back to just really finding out who we are on offense and coming out there and playing a complete game. I don't think offense has had a complete game yet to where we've just went out there and dominated from the first game up until the last game at Tuscaloosa. So we just got to come out there and we got to really find our identity and just get back to playing Ole Miss football and being a powerful offense.
Lane yesterday said that with Prescorn and Zakari coming back, he felt like the best was yet to come for this offense. Do you feel that same way too? And is it difficult getting all of these pieces working in now as opposed to earlier?
Right. I think bringing those guys back is a huge plus for us on offense. Having those guys out there who can make plays all over the field is huge for us. And, those guys are going to come in and help big time for us, getting Trey back. And, I wouldn't say it's really difficult, with it still being so early and a lot of ball still to be played. We just got into SEC play, which is huge for us. So to get those guys back during this time before we go in this SEC gauntlet.
It's a big ass first game in of the season up against Alabama SEC defense. How did you kind of feel, or maybe talking with him, Zakari felt his first kind of action went last week?
Yeah, I think he handled it really well. He went out there, he played fast. I think that he still has to get flowing with the offense a little bit more. Because we go so fast and things like that. So. But he really handled it really well. A road game in Tuscaloosa, it's not an easy place to play. But he handled himself really well and was flowing with the offense.
Just from what you've seen so far on film, what kind of stands out about LSU's defense, and I guess more in particular their secondary?
Yeah, they have a really good secondary. They got a really good linebacker, nickel player. He flies around. They got a really good safeties in corners. I think what stands out to me is more so their D line. They have a really solid D line. So we're gonna have to come with our A game all in general because they have an A+ defense for sure.
You touched on the D line there. I imagine one of those guys, outside linebacker Harold Perkins. What kind of challenge does he present? What do you see from him?
Yeah, he's a guy who flies around. You can cut on the tape and just see that he's a sideline to sideline guy. He's not afraid to stick his nose in there and get dirty. He plugs holes really well. So we got to be prepared for him to just go out there and play his game. So we just got to be really prepared for that.